Hey everyone, today we're checking out the UGREEN HiTune X6 hybrid noise cancelling earbuds. And these buds are pumping out some really impressive bass. There's a lot of it, but they still manage to retain some great clarity as well, which is what we all want in life. Well, at least that's what I want. But if you want to grab a pair, links are down below. So are timestamps, because as usual here, we're going in depth. So if you're picky with your audio, so am I. Let's get into another picky review. Alright, starting with the design of the earbuds themselves. Very simple stuff here. Glossy plastics on the inside of the bud and a bit of silver shine action on the touch surface. It's nothing special, but the ergonomics are very nice, so that means you're getting a really good fit. With 3 sizes of ear tips included, the largest work the best for me. That's normally the case. It's a moderately deep fit, so not too intrusive in the ear canal. There's no suction, and due to the ergonomics of the bud, great comfort, and actually match it quite close to the AirPods Pro in terms of ergonomics. So a similar feel to the AirPods Pro, not as comfortable, but they come pretty close. And this is also the kind of fit that would work for people with small ears. I don't have small ears, as you can probably tell, but if you do, this will work well for you. Now, in terms of how secure the fit is, it's pretty good. In my weight training and running test, they stayed in fine. It was only when I was like clenching my jaw through those hard sets in the gym, the right earbud budged out a little bit. No way they're going to fall out when lying down for bench press. Shaking my head around here in my head shake test, they stay in really well. And a quick fix to the earbuds budging out, chuck on some SpinFit Ear-tips. CP 1025 or 360 work great, and due to the extra grip of those tips, the earbuds barely budge out, still the tiniest bit, and the only downside is it's a little bit more tricky to get a nice seal. Where the included ear tips, it's very easy, they slide straight in. But that's one of their downsides. The ear tips are a little bit on the slippery side, which is why I think the buds do budge out with the stock ear tips, but you got some options there. Now, if you like using your earbuds when you train, these have an IPX 5 water resistant rating, so fine for sweat and splashes of water used in the rain. You just can't submerge the buds in water. Now onto battery life. The advertised numbers you're getting: 6 hours from the earbuds, 26 hours total, noise cancelling off, 5.5 hours from the buds, and 24.5 hours total, I think, with noise cancelling on. But in my test with noise cancelling on, iPhone XS at 70% volume, here's what I got. You're also getting fast charge, so a 10-minute charge will give you 1 hour on the earbuds. Otherwise, it takes 1.5 hours to charge the earbuds from dead to full in the case. There is no wireless charging, which you do see at this price point, but not a deal breaker. Now onto the case itself. I like the design. It's nice and simple like the earbuds. You got a clean silver and black finish. It's not the most compact case out there, but still pocketable. You got a sturdy hinge. The magnets are nice and strong, and you have an indicator light on the front, but I couldn't find specifics on how that functions in the manual or anywhere. It always just seems to flash 3 times, even when the case was completely dead and when the case was fully charged. So it would have been nice to see some different colors or some different flashes indicating low battery. And another slight issue I noticed was a couple of times when I put the earbuds back in the case, close the lid, the earbuds would still be connected to my phone. I just tested this back and forth non-stop. It seems to happen 1 every 7 times, which is more than you definitely want. It definitely gets pretty annoying. An easy fix is to just open the lid and close the lid, and most of the time that will disconnect the earbuds. So a bit of an issue there. Let me know if you do have a pair and this is happening for you as well, or it could be a faulty pair. If it is, I'll update in the comments down below if I get a new pair or something, and then I'll let you know in the comments. Now let's talk about controls. You have control of everything here, including volume. Here's all the controls so you can see. Sensitivity is spot on, works 100% of the time. You're just not getting any INI detection or customizable controls with an app. But at this price, fair stuff. The main thing, we have volume control, and I'm happy with that. There is one touch function missing though, which I'll talk about later, which is a bit of a weird one for a noise cancelling earbud, but stay tuned for that. Onto connectivity now. Bluetooth 5.1, SBC and AAC codecs. In terms of Bluetooth range, I can get 25 meters in my outdoor test. That's in a clear open space, and 15 meters indoor. That's downstairs and upstairs through 5 walls. There is no multi-pairing, but if you want to use one earbud while the other rests in the case, that works great, and it also works in mono mode. So if you're using one earbud, you can hear both audio channels coming out of that one earbud. Now, in terms of latency on YouTube, Netflix, and movies, barely any to see there. When it comes to gaming, there is a low latency mode. In my quick test, I did notice a nice reduction in latency, but I'm going to chuck up my results here on both iOS and Android. And to kind of give you a quick explanation, you get 400 milliseconds. Not that great, but fine for casual games. You want to get close to 200 milliseconds if you want some real low latency for shooters and stuff like that. One issue with low latency mode though is it brings the volume down by about 2 to 3 clicks. even then at 100%, they're still definitely loud enough. And I did notice as well when listening to music with the low latency mode on or watching videos and stuff like that, it kind of glitched out a little bit. The sound got a bit weird, but when I was just playing games like Mario Run, a couple of shooters, I didn't notice any issues with the audio cutting out or anything like that. So if you're going to use it when gaming, that's fine. You wouldn't want to use a low latency mode when listening to music. Now onto the microphone test.
All right, so here's a microphone test with the HiTune X6 in a nice quiet room here at the moment. And this is what the microphone sounds like with a crowd simulation noise being played quite loud off the speaker right in front of me to mimic a noisy environment. All right, so here we are in the outside world with the HiTune X6. The rain's coming down quite fast, so I'm going to quickly hop on out of here, but hopefully you can hear my voice well and all the cars behind me are getting blocked out. I'm going now.
All right, before we talk about noise cancelling, a quick little drop of my Instagram here. If you want to stay updated with behind the scenes action to me, my audio ventures, link is down below. All right, on to noise cancelling. Now quickly, how I test my noise cancelling. I jump in my car, has a sub in there, and I'm just cranking crowd noise, plane noise, and train noise to get a good idea of the noise cancelling performance. And the UGREEN here is coming in at that number 9 spot, just below the number 8 spot there. And a lot of those buds are coming in at the same price. So you can get better noise cancelling performance at this price with those buds, and there's also some buds higher up on the list at a similar price, even cheaper than the X6 here. Still, it'll block out consistent sounds quite well. It's just voices and less consistent sounds in those higher frequencies that it doesn't block out as well. And the issues kind of continue here because when you have noise cancelling on, the volume is brought down by like 2 to 3 clicks, same as a low latency gaming mode, but your sound quality is also reduced by about 15%, which is kind of expected with noise cancelling at this price, but I normally look for about a 5 or 10% reduction. So a little bit more than I was expecting. But the volume decrease is a bit of a weird one. I've never seen that before. And the issues also continue because there's no transparency mode. There's no ambient mode, which I've never not seen with a noise cancelling earbud. So I don't know why it's not there, but it's not there. So look, overall with the noise cancelling, lack of transparency mode, not the best, but don't worry because these earbuds make up for it quite a lot with their sound quality. And starting with volume as usual, when you have noise cancelling off, these go crazily loud, like a solid 9 out of 10, some of the loudest earbuds I've tested. With noise cancelling on though, I'll bring that down to about a 7 out of 10. At 100%, they're still definitely loud enough, but still having a little bit of extra wiggle room with noise cancelling on would have been nice. But if you want some low level music at the lowest volume, these buds get my bedtime certification. They go nice and quiet at the lowest volume, which is very rare to see. So nice for some like quiet listening before bed or something like that. And a very minimal amount of that white noise hissing when you are listening to low level music. But now onto the sound quality itself. And like I mentioned at the start, these are a bassy bud. It's over the top. They're up there with they're probably the bassiest bud I've tested while still retaining nice clarity, but not the best bass to clarity ratio. There are better buds out there, but for the amount of bass you are getting and at the price you're paying here, these are up there with the best of the best. Because I'm giving it a solid 9.5 out of 10 on my subwoofer bass scale. That's the highest score that I've ever given. The reigning champion were the Jabra Elite 75T with a 9 out of 10. They do sound better though, but I'll run through the comparisons in a sec. So to kind of explain the bass, you're getting that nice deep subwoofer bass here, and there's a lot of boosting in the mid bass. It's just a lot of bass overall in all the frequencies. It gets a bit over the top, and with this, your mids are kind of falling back behind in the mix a little bit, but they still come through a lot better than they should for a bud at this price with the amount of bass you are getting. And the treble is also laid back a little bit, which is good for this kind of earbud because it means you can crank these at high volumes with electronic music and just like nice bass heavy music, hip hop, R&B, all that good stuff. And you get no sibilance, rarely gets harsh. Some songs at like above 85% might get a little bit harsh, but these are definitely not a piercing earbud. And you're still getting pretty nice detail with the treble. Now, instrument separation here, surprisingly good, better than what this kind of tuning should kind of have. And this is the same with soundstage. That's the first thing I noticed. A very open sound, again, not very common for a bass heavy earbud at this price. So overall, one of the best earbuds I've tested with a bass heavy tuning while still retaining some pretty decent clarity. Obviously, it's not going to sound clean or balanced at all. This is for a bass lover, this kind of tuning here. But keep in mind, this is with noise cancelling off. Turn noise cancelling on. Again, everything's kind of brought down by about 15% in quality. It still retains the same tuning, but overall clarity and separation is brought down a bit, and of course the 3 clicks of volume as well. So a bit of a bummer there, but let's continue on and we'll run through my genre rating checklist. Here are all my results. So 8s for hip hop, R&B, EDM. You get a nice amount of bass, but again, with the mids being slightly recessed, all your vocals still come through very clear. They rarely fall behind in the mix unless you're listening to some more chaotic music like metal, symphonic metal and that kind of stuff. But I also had to bump up the score for hardstyle, trap and dubstep, genres where just a lot of bass works really great, and still your synths and all that kind of stuff, all your percussion comes through really well. The lowest score here is for psytrance. I find when there's too much mid bass boosting for like half the psytrance tracks that I tested, it was just a little bit too over the top. It gets quite bloated and a little bit messy. I find a punchier bass response works better with psytrance. You're definitely not getting a lot of punch with this bass response here. It's more on the boomy side, but still has a little bit of punch to it as well. It's not completely booming and over the top. Now, so I can explain the sound even further, it's comparison time. I'm going to start with the Tozo NC2, one of the more recent noise cancelling earbuds I've reviewed at a similar price. And overall sound quality, I've got to give it to the X6 here. You're getting more bass. The Tozo have a bit more of a brighter treble response, which does get a little bit harsh on a lot of songs at those high volumes. So if you like a brighter sound, you might like the Tozo better, but if I was to only choose one, I'm going for the X6. But keep in mind, you are getting better noise cancelling on the Tozo and a transparency mode. Now, compared to the Earphone 3 Pro 2, again, with sound quality, overall, I'm giving it to the X6. You're getting slightly more bass and just better clarity, separation, and soundstage. It's quite close there, but linking it back in, 3 Pro 2, slightly better noise cancelling and transparency mode as well. Now, compared to the Earphone Air Pro 2, they're bringing you more of a balance tuning. So I would kind of say here, if you like your balance, definitely go for the Air Pro 2. But if you want a more over-the-top bass-heavy sound, I'd recommend the X6. Same thing, better noise cancelling, transparency mode, Air Pro 2. I'm gonna keep saying that. You just assume that's what I'm gonna say going forward. Now, compared to the Soundpeats T2, they are bringing you a more balanced tuning. But again, I'm just gonna give it to the X6 here. If you like your bass, if you like a bit more balance, go for the T2, kind of similar to the Air Pro 2 situation there. So look, the X6 beating out all the buds there in that similar price range when it comes to a bass heavy sound. So I had to compare them to the big dogs, the Soundpeats H1 and the H2. They're bringing you a bit more of a balanced sound when it comes to clarity, instrument separation. The H1 and H2 are easily better, but if you do like your bass, it's a bit more over the top, the X6 might be a good option for you. Like I said before, the Jabra Elite 75T are my current #1 bass to clarity earbud. The X6 here push out more bass than the 75T, but the 75T do sound just better overall. Cleaner mids, better clarity, but the X6, for the price you're getting them at, if you just want over the top bass, they're for you. So to wrap it up here, even just for their sound quality alone, the fact that they get the fit right, and a couple of issues, you got your lack of transparency mode, that case issue with the earbuds not disconnecting, that's a little bit of a deal breaker for me. So these are definitely not like an all-round earbud, but if you like your bass, then these might be worth it for you, as long as you keep noise cancelling off so they sound the best. All right, but that wraps it up for today. Be sure to check out my top 5 bass video that I did with Kenneth Tanaka. These earbuds would probably be on the list, so just imagine they're on the list for that video. So check that out, but in the meantime, stay tuned, and of course, stay picky with your audio, because life's too short for crappy sound. See you in the next video. Bye now.